Good evening, PLW Nation. It's Thursday night. It's 6:30, and that means
PLW Nation Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, it was. We had a lot of good feedback from the league. Got a lot of guys calling, saying, "Hey, they really liked what we did, and we're going to keep this going weekly." Kind of like a little brief introduction, recap of last week, give you some rankings. Adam and I will do picks. I think we're going to have Sasai picking on the chat, so he was going to try and be here, but he's with little Jackson right now, so we expect that. Week 2, we're 10% through the season, basically.
Yep. Already.
And we're kind of seeing some teams take some shape. We're kind of seeing what's going on. And the first thing the biggest observation I have is Mother Nature is kicking our butt.
Oh, man. Sunday was so cold and windy and rainy. And then today it's out there sweating. I threw to Trevor for about 30 minutes and I had to go lay down and take like a mini nap. I'm worn out.
Yeah. Yeah, the wind's been a big factor when you're playing with, a ball that weighs, 2 ounces and bats that even taped up don't weigh more than 10 ounces. There's a lot of stuff going on. We've had guys that absolutely crush the ball and it doesn't go anywhere. And then we've had other plays where it looks like, nope, we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We had 46 runs scored in 9 games on Saturday. We had more runs than that scored in 5 games on Sunday.
Oh. How many were scored on Sunday?
I didn't count. When it went over 50, I was like, we got outscored. They played 5 games and outscored us, and there was 9 games, and there was only 45 runs scored.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
Not for wiffle ball. Good for ERAs.
Good for ERAs, yeah.
Bad for batting averages. So we're going to get right into this recap. We're going to start with the first game of the weekend on Saturday. In the revised power rankings, again, these rankings are just by me. Nobody else has any say, so... suck it. The number 8 ones, I had them moving up because they won 2 games. They played the Pharaohs. Everybody had the Pharaohs highly rated, so I moved them up a couple of spots against the Night Owls, who played well in their first series, didn't come out with the series win, but they played well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they did. We saw Chen back.
Yeah, we had a Chen sighting, so no Stein, but you have Chen. So the ones' attendance is going to be their big thing. Right off the bat, you got Levi Lawrence against Adrian Gutierrez. So they're kind of their ace against the ace of the ones. And Levi's 0-2, but don't let that fool you. He's pitched exceptionally well. So right off the bat, we hyped on the fact that Chen was in the building. The lineup has a chance. But Levi was the key to this series. He was the player of the series. He starts off the scoring in the first game with a leadoff double to right, and then Brundage, former Sand Viper, does what he was kind of doing the whole series. Somebody gets on base in front of him, and he got a single to kind of get the game going for him. And the Owls jump out to a quick 1-0 lead. Levi goes 2 1/3 before walking out, and normally they would be like, "Oh, who do we turn to?" They didn't really have pitching depth. They go right to Holligan, and Holligan is, again, another good arm that I think everybody was looking for, hoping that he would slide, but looking to add.
Yep.
The Owls kind of take that pitching, that 1-0 lead. If you'd be surprised that was the inning in the first inning, that's the only run that was scored in the whole game. So that's kind of like the wind wall was there. The pitching was good enough, and the hitting was kind of what we expected from these teams. The defense was better than I expected. Some good plays by the infield. Chen smashed some balls but didn't go anywhere. And then AK in the field. AK made plays. He would call it from center and run all the way to left to make a diving play.
I remember the streaming went down for a second. And I'm up there, so I come over the window and I'm watching, and I see a little pop up to shallow left. And AJ, like you said, must have been in center field, comes all the way behind the third baseman, diving out, and makes an awesome catch.
Yeah, he made a handful of plays. Like we were calling him Kelly Leak in the booth, because I was in the booth, and I'm like, it's Kelly Leak out there, because he was making all the plays everywhere, and for good reason. He was the best player on the field for them.
Is that a football player?
No, Kelly Leak.
Yeah,
you know who Bad News Bears.
Oh, Kelly Leak with the long hair.
Yeah,
okay.
Come on.
I mean, I haven't heard that name in ages. I'm thinking Kelly Leak. I remember Mike Leak.
Yeah.
He was a pitcher for the Reds who skipped the minor leagues, played with his brother in Sweden, but like, Kelly Leak.
So game 2, the Owls get the first win, and they even their record to 2-2. Both teams are 2-2, kind of looking for this big swing here. This is a swing game. Brian Brundage on the mound, getting his first appearance against Ryan Chen, getting his first appearance of the year. both pitchers get through the first, but then it's a rookie, James Ogden, one of my former teammates, regulator, go Regulators, works a walk, and then AK does what AK does, smokes a double. He was kind of your pick to click a little bit.
Yeah.
Thought he would have a good series, and he did. Gets that first run across, and Brundage gets into some trouble, and then they turn to Kyle Silva, the rookie. So they go from a guy who was a rookie last year, didn't play a whole lot, to Silva.
Yep.
And that they wouldn't have had that. I don't think they had that luxury last year. It was kind of like Levi and the Miracles. Bo would jump in.
Yeah. They had to low him in a little bit.
Yeah.
If Kiefer was there, you know.
Yeah. It was, and so they kind of get through. The Night Owls, you know, kind of get a double play at the plate. So this was our first big, not controversy, but our first bang play at the plate.
With Bird.
With Bird.
Yes, I remember that.
Fly ball to left, 9-finger death punch is what I'm calling because he's got the broken hand. He can't really throw, but Miller catches it, relays perfectly, one hop to Levi, turns and throws. And because he's left-handed, I think it's an advantage in wiffle ball because he can keep his throwing arm close to the outfield and he just turned and threw. Hit the strike zone perfect, right as Bird is getting ready to throw it. Bang, double play, and the Owls get out of trouble.
Yeah, bang, double play. I remember that. I was up Twitch producing, and what was the call in the field?
So it was call was safe.
The call was safe on the field, and I remember looking at it, slowing it down. I couldn't tell what it was.
Yeah.
But down the dungeon they went and did the replay.
Yeah, they got it paused like to the frame.
And they said he was out.
Yeah, they said he was out because he hits. You can see the ball passed in front of him and hit the strike zone before he got to home plate. So it was. That's how close it was. That was like the turning point in the game.
It was a huge play. I know that a lot of the ones players after the fact, I was getting messages from Jamie Chai. Is his last name Chai? Has 2 H's.
Yeah, I think it's
Che.
Che.
He messaged me. I think Cabrera messaged me. Look, he was safe. He was safe. It's like I paused it too. It's hard to tell, but I remember that's what they said in the dungeon. The ball was in front of him. He couldn't have been safe.
Yeah,
very close play.
It was a great play. It was a good hustle play, and it was kind of like maybe the excitement that we're looking for from that play. Bottom of the fourth, the Owls finally get to Chen. Levi starts off another inning with a double. He's kind of the catalyst at the top of the order. That's what they're looking for from him. And then you get a Brundage walk, a Holligan single, a Miller single to right, and then Che, that's kind of it. But they also get another error. The ones errors, and again, when I say errors, folks, the wind is blowing that ball sometimes 4 to 6 feet, and there's not really a whole lot that can be done.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's really tough out there, and so they take a 3-1 lead after 4. Goot gets off the next inning with a start, and AK hits another single. Ryan Chen singles, and then they get the ones get to 3-2, and I'm thinking, oh, here come the ones, because they scrapped against the Pharaohs and were able to turn that second game around, or the third game. They scrapped that third game. Like, here comes the veterans taking advantage of essentially a rookie team.
Yeah.
Silva gets Bird to K and Ogburn to get out, so he wiggles out of that. And then between innings, we kind of have a little family love going on in the ones dugout. And I thought, oh, here we go. We're going to spice things up. It's going to be good. But nothing really happens. And then Levi comes in for the Owls. They used him in the first game. He comes in. He's going to be kind of the guy that has to get 9 innings every week. He has to pitch maximum innings. Whether he walks out or not, I plan on him either getting 9 or pitching 3 games. I mean, that's kind of what you think, like you would use Tom.
Yeah.
He's going to pitch a lot. They get a walk to Couts. They get Chen, and then he gets Chen to ground out, and that kind of ends the game. Silva gets a win as a rookie. Levi gets a win and a save, so he's cruising already. The Owls have secured their first series win in a while, except for the last time they played the Legends. For God's sake, they kick our ass every year. And then we go to the game 3, and now we got Holligan against AK. This is what the game I thought would be the same kind of story for the ones, where the ones would show their veteran leadership.
Veteran, they do have 3 rookies on their team, right?
Yeah, but you've got 3 guys that are...
Yeah, season,
1?
In season 6. Yeah, since season 1, yeah.
This is one of the games where the offense kind of gets out of hand. Levi hits 2 home runs in 1 inning. The Owls really pile it on. They win 9-2. They get the sweep. Holligan gets a win. And the Owls are, if you look at the standings, folks, the Owls are in second place. They're 4-2.
Yeah, they're right there.
Who would have thought? Yeah.
I mean, they did a rebuild year last year. This
Yeah.
is where they're starting to see, their profits.
Yeah.
From trading away Dalby, trading away Stein, getting all these picks, almost getting relegated. Down to the final game, they had to beat the Warbirds. If they didn't, they wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, that was close, yeah. And then using those picks wisely.
Yes,
Silva,
they did use them wisely.
Ogden
Yes.
had another good series, so
Yeah.
they looked really good.
Well, there's 2 Ogburns in this series.
Yeah,
And
so-
so earlier I was confused when you said Ogburn. I didn't know if you're talking about James or Malik.
Yeah, so we had father on son crime.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, they both got to be on both sides.
Yeah, pitch, they pitched to each other, they hit
Yep.
to each other, so that was great. I have Levi Lawrence as the player of the game. He was 5 for 12, hit 420, 3 RBIs, 5 runs. Went 1-0 with a save, no runs, 6 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed.
How many innings pitched, you said?
I didn't have the innings pitched, so I just
Okay.
kind of stopped it. But he gave up no runs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's 6 Ks and 1 hit allowed in that weather, getting those wins. I think that's crucial for the Owls going forward. They've got a big series coming up this week. I look for them to keep kind of be fighting all year to be. I think they're a playoff team, might be a wild card team, but attendance isn't their problem.
Right.
And I think the ones are the ones. They're going to be fighting it all year, probably looking at 9-10 all year.
Yeah.
So the second series, we're going to go to probably my favorite series of the week. You have the Vaders against the Pharaohs.
Yep.
So little history here. Logan Christie was supposed to be in this chair tonight. Something came up. Life happens. He's the only player to take 2 teams. One is a player. He was part of the Vaders when they won their way into the league as the pitcher.
Yep.
And he's the manager of the Pharaohs that also get in. And he has the other distinction. He's a PLW champion. To say that he knows what it takes to get teams into that position is probably an accurate statement.
Very accurate, yep.
Yeah. So the Vaders, I picked the Vaders. You picked the Vaders. We kind of thought that this would be the recipe. There's too much Roundy, too much Eder, too much Santiwan.
And a lot of Ibarra.
Yeah, and Ethan Ibarra in the zone. So this series was kind of a hodgepodge because it was, again, it's one of those games where you look at the game and you're going, man, these teams should be putting up big numbers. Well, the wind says not so fast, my friend. The Vaders start off, not the Vaders. The Pharaohs start off quick. We didn't have any balls that threatened the wall. Logan Christie comes up, bam, second pitch, line drive home run. And it's
It was a low pitch. It just didn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He absolutely hammered it, gets that home run, and it was a pitch that maybe got 5.5, 6 feet in the air. Wind didn't affect it. It was a line drive. It's a home run in any park or a triple at the ranch.
Yeah.
They take a 1-0 lead, and then Roundy looks like season 4 Tanner Roundy. If that is the case, league, we have a long season ahead of us because Ibarra is going to be back for some games, and Eder is going to find that form he had the second half of the season.
He is. He just seems to put too much pressure on himself and just throwing too many balls right now where he has good stuff. He just needs to throw strikes.
Yeah. He's electric. Billy is Billy. You know what I mean? So they've got enough pitching to do enough damage, and if Tanner's going to be what he was, you got a long season, folks. Barden looked good early as he started, he started his second start of the season. He looked good early, but the Vaders finally get to him. They get him to walk out, and then they turn it over to Christie, who promptly walks out. Wind, Parker Trask, who also walks out, and then they get 2 guys out. They walk them out, but the Vaders make a base running error in this inning. Ibarra tries to tag up from third on an infield pop-up and gets thrown out at the plate.
Oh, I remember that. What was he thinking?
Well, they weren't paying attention. It was a pop-up. They were talking, and he had already snuck past the line, so he's got to go.
Yeah, he's committed, yeah.
And they throw him out, and it was like, take your chance because they thought runs would be hard to come by, and it's like, okay, they get out, they escape, and it's still 1-0 after 4. And then the fifth inning starts. Manager Sasai, he's been out working on his craft. Sasai has been putting in the work. He put in the work in the PCL. He gets on base at the bottom of the lineup, walking out Trask, and then you get a 2-out double by Roundy, and then an RBI by Hutt. And the Vaders, all of a sudden, they got a 2-1 lead, and they go to the bottom of the 5th. Roundy gets his second walk, but then you go to Billy Santiwan. That's 2 completely different pitchers, and I don't think no one pitched like either of those guys in the PCL. I mean, it's just is what it is. You've got a lefty with a big sweeper from that 3/4 arm angle that's tough on lefties, tough on righties because of that back foot. And then you got this former Cy Young Award winner, nasty knuckleballer. Sasai adds an RBI single in the 6th, and that ends the scoring 3-1. Vaders take the first game. Kind of what we thought would happen. I mean, I thought it would be more of a 7-6 game if the wind wasn't there.
Right.
But 3-1 is how that game finished up. It's the second game that I want to talk about. The second game was probably the quietest game I've seen in a long time. Skaggs comes in and starts the first because he has to go and they got to have 3 starters. So immediately he comes in, pitches his inning, gets out of the inning, and then the Pharaohs get Seth Barden up and bam, mashes a home run. Seth doing what Seth does. He hits a home run off a Eder, and it was just it was quick. It was 2-0, and it's like, okay, Pharaohs get out to another early lead. It's kind of been their mode. They strike quick. And then Barden comes in to relieve for Skaggs because he had to leave. 5 fielders. Tara Hall is not. She's in the lineup, so they don't take the out, but not in the field. So they're playing with 5 fielders and the wind. Seth Barden goes 5 innings, no hits. I think he had 8 strikeouts, walked 1. They throw a combined no-hitter against the Vaders and win 2-0.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Something I would have never predicted.
Yeah. Roundy looked great. He pitched great coming in for Eder. And then he gives up to Tara Hall. She hits the nastiest screwball down the right field line.
First hit.
Gets her first hit, and the place went crazy. It was great. Now, after that, they pitched her even tougher.
They did. And then they moved, Billy moved all the way over to first base.
Yeah. So they figured that out. But Barden gets the win. The Pharaohs even the series at 1, and now you're in a rubber match. What do we like here at PLW? We love rubber matches because the bad end of a series, if you can avoid the bad end of a series and you go 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 18 weeks, that's 36 wins.
Oh,
that's playoff. That's first round bye playoff stuff. That you're in the top 3. So they're looking to battle here. You got Eder against Bosnos. So I like Josh Bosnos as a starter. I love Eder as a starter. Like you said, great stuff. Just got to harness it.
Yep.
Sandy Juan starts off with a leadoff home run. He's done that 3 times in 6 games.
Oh, wow.
So he has found the power at the leadoff. It used to be just a slap hitter. We used to play him opposite field.
Opposite field slap. And so you see, is that 3 home runs he has from the season? All of them are leadoff.
He has more home runs than that, but he has 3 leadoff home runs. He led off the first game of the season. He led off this game. He led off game 3 last week. So he's got 3 leadoff home runs. And he's not just a get-me-over guy. You throw a strike, he's going to hit it. It's like Bosnos can't even get out of the first. They go right to Christie. I think that portion of the no Baxa in the rotation, they used up a lot of Barden's innings. Skaggs is gone. Parker Trask was ineffective in his time, but you gotta have him at short or Logan at short because it kind of impacts their defense. Eder looks through the, Parker Trask hits, Eder gets into the second, or into the second. Parker Trask touches one beautifully off of Eder. We're tied at 1, and I'm like, okay, here's where either the Pharaohs can step up and take the series, that youthful exuberance, or is it the veteran team that wins?
Yep.
So it's like they're kind of, the Pharaohs get to Eder, but again, Sasai wastes no time. He goes right to Billy. And that's kind of a luxury I don't think a lot of people have. Some teams have it where they can just go to their ace. They can go to Purdy. They can go. I can go to JT, or I can go to Billy. I can go to whoever.
Yep.
But that's a luxury that Sasai kind of pushes all the way through. And it's we go to the top of the 6th. It's still 2-1, or 1-0. And Ibarra and Benlos add solos. They take a big lead now. They take game 3 4-1. And just like AK predicted in the booth, he called the game 4-1. He thought the game would be 4-1. He got it right. Vaders win the series. In this series, I have Tanner around it. He was only there for the first 2 games.
Okay.
1-0, 0.72 ERA, 12 strikeouts.
12 Ks, huh?
Yeah, 12 Ks, 3 hits allowed. Not a lot of hitting going on for the Vaders. Again, they get no hit, which was kind of a new thing. I don't know how many games it took for us to get a no-hitter.
First no-hitter, yeah.
First no-hitter, but, your 5th game in the league, you've no-hit a championship caliber team.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was a big one. I think we both picked that one right. What do we got going on in the chat? Anybody in there we want to talk to? Let's see. We got Malik in the chat. I can see Malik. It looks like Levi with a little tink.
Yeah, I see Mitch in there. What's up, Mitch? I see some Parsons.
Oh, we got one. He's got one highlighted from Levi.
Seeing Holligan's on point. Here's a highlight. Can't wait to get the clips going. Yeah, that'll be fun. We can just go to like clips, like if we had, go to that bird clip when we were talking about that. If we had the clip of AK diving, maybe we could start, next week if we have time. Each series could just have like one highlight clip we can just put.
Well, yeah, I can put a clip. So what I'm going to try and do is as we get every week, as we get further, we're going to try and add another element. So this next week, it'll be me when I watch the games, freeze it when I know the timestamp is, can give the timestamp to yourself, to Trevor, to whoever's doing the producing, and say, hey, this is when the AK diving catch happens. We're going to talk about it. This is the Tara Hall hit in game 2. This is the home run by Levi. These are the spots, and then we can add those clips in as we're talking. And then it looks like Sports Center where they have a teleprompter. I have to look down and read it because we don't have a teleprompter, so I can't. I look like I'm not paying attention to you guys.
It'd be nice if we had our chat monitor right here.
Oh, yeah.
Then we can see the chat a little better.
Yep. But yeah, we're working on it, guys. We got. You know what? This is week 3 coming up, so we got 15 weeks to get this right. The third series is another great series.
Third series, that was us, right?
Yeah, that was you and the Lightning.
Oh man,
2 top teams. I mean, I was looking at this is a playoff preview in my eyes. You picked your own team to win. You're a good owner. You go with your team.
I'm going with them. If we had, I think we were counting them, 9 phantom home runs.
Oh, balls that were hit. That didn't go out.
I think me and McDowell each had like 4 phantom home runs, and Hicks had 1 or 2, and we just kind of gave up and just.
So yeah, it's one of those things where I went with the Lightning. And my sole basis of that is pitching.
Oh, yeah. Our pitching, we're going to have to figure that out this year. And they just have, like, with Dalby there, they have 4 legit, they've got pitchers, yeah.
And you've got guys like Spurrier, Halid. I mean, these guys, Halid, I always want to call it. These guys are so good. They've played so well. And this is the second season in a row where these guys have gotten, Lightning that is, have gotten out to a really fast start. Last year, they took 2 out of 3, then they did a sweep. They were 5-1 last year after 2 weeks. It's not a myth, folks. These guys are really good.
They are, yeah.
And like you said, when they have Dalby, the lineup is even longer and deeper than it is.
Yep.
So this game, you guys go with AJ, game 1. They go with the Cy Young candidate every year, Jake Purdy.
Yep.
This is a game that kind of got out of hand a little early. Spurrier crushes a 3-run home run when we didn't think runs would be at a premium, and he hits a 3-run homer.
Yeah, but I don't understand how they hit home runs. We had 0 home runs the whole series. I mean, they had 3, maybe 2. Just hitting it hard and low. And then if you get it down the line, it was going down the line, but that was about it.
Yeah. Then you have an uncharacteristic thing. That's kind of what we've been talking about. The wind impacts. You have Tavano playing left, normally your second baseman. But because of attendance, he's got to play left field. Ball goes between his legs, gets a man to second.
Oh, that double. Oh, my God.
And then Jaden Trout gets a base hit. There's all of a sudden, it's 4-0. And with their pitching, with the wind the way it wasn't over, but it's like that's a big first step for that team. And that's the first inning.
Yeah, that was the first inning. We weren't worried at all, 4-0.
Yeah.
I think when it got a little more out of hand is when we started to change some of the thought process.
And that happens immediately. The second inning, they get an RBI single from Dalby, and then another 3-run home run from Bruce.
Yep.
The lead goes to 8-0. Chad pulls Purdy, saving innings, but he's not pulling him for like himself. He's putting in Randy Dalby.
Yeah.
The drop. If you guys ever want to see where you stand in wiffle ball and how we kind of judge ourselves, there's a page called The Drop that literally lists the top 100 players in the country. We've got quite a few of those guys in this league. So Randy Dalby consistently on the drop.
Yep.
Purdy, so you take a big spot, bases low, 2-out walk to get your run.
Yep.
And
that was our only RBI that game.
Yeah, it was the only run that you guys scored. You guys both teams use 5 pitchers, kind of to conserve innings. Like I said, maybe it was for them it was the big lead. You with the big deficit, you're like, I don't want to use my quality innings in this game. Let's just kind of chalk it up to a poor start and let's go to look at the game 2.
Yep.
Game 2, Mother Nature is back in full effect. The wind wall is real. It is impacting the game. Balls that are crushed, regardless of team.
Yeah.
There was guys hitting balls that would have been out of any wiffle ball stadium. This stadium is one of the bigger stadiums that any wiffle league has.
Yeah. Yep. I think the Hideaway was the biggest before, and this is a little bit bigger than the Hideaway.
Yeah, so with 122 to the power alleys, 97 down the lines, this is one of the biggest wiffle ball fields you'll see in wiffle ball, and that amount of wind, 25 miles an hour, gusting a little bit more. Didn't matter what you did, the ball wasn't going anywhere. You call your own number against Spurrier.
Yep.
Justin Spurrier came over from the ones in a trade last year, kind of overlooked the trade maybe by some people.
You know, we never got that option. I don't think they really shopped him around.
Yeah.
The ones wanted to teach Spurrier a lesson. The Lightning were the last place team. They didn't go, hey, Sand Vipers, you want to give us a better deal for Spurrier? And they go, Spurrier, we're going to ship you off to the last place team. That's what it was all about. And you know what? Who had the last laugh? It was the Lightning.
He's made he's made their defense better because he's again, right hand, left hand doesn't matter in wiffle ball because there's not really. I think it makes it easier to turn the double play because you don't have to pivot because he's
a lefty as a
short,
shortstop. Yeah, I agree. It's better. Yeah.
But Tanic, you walk out after an inning and 2/3, you go right to Petrovsky, and then again, uncharacteristically, Michael Dean, in my opinion, one of the top 5 third basemen in the league. Defensively, he's top 15 players in this league.
Yeah, 1 error last year.
Yeah, 1 error.
And he had like 3, but Chad only marked 2.
Yeah. So he makes an uncharacteristic error that allows the only run of the inning. Spurrier pitches 6 innings, gives up 1 hit, strikes out 10, only walking 1. He looked really good in those conditions. I think he could just throw the ball over the plate and say, hit it.
He did. He gave me some of the ones where I had flashbacks where I hit that 3-run homer off him. I got the same pitch and just, wow, I roared. You heard me roaring? And the ball just...
Yeah. Yeah, and their defense with Tyler running around out there, Bruce running around out there, that defense is really good.
Defense is really good. But Spurrier's a different pitcher this year than he was last year.
Yes.
You know, he did throw, some cookies in there, but he did it because of the wind. He also threw some really nasty stuff. He painted some corners, got some guys chasing. He's a different guy this year. Spurrier, I think, is going to have a big year on the mound.
Yeah. I mean, again, the Purdy, Hallett, Spurrier, and when he shows up, Dalby. And then, again, we hate to say this, but don't sell short Chad, the guy who can come in and save innings for those guys and be effective, especially against some of these newer teams, some of these rookies. He's going to be effective because they haven't seen him.
Yep.
So they managed well. 1-0, they secure their second series win, and now they're looking for a sweep. And this is where you guys go to Kenny McDowell. He's pitched, but he hadn't started yet. He started a lot last year.
A little bit. Then we started kind of going to Keegan more. When Petrovsky was there, we were going there. I think McDowell, his rookie season, when me and Tom were gone for a while, we were kind of leaning on him. And he just kind of had to figure out how to throw pitches just to throw strikes, and he gave up a lot of bombs. And this last season, last year, kind of had a high batting average against, but he looked like a different guy this year.
Yeah.
Really spotting the ball low. Some teams he does better against than others. So, we're looking forward to him getting some more innings this year.
Yeah, and then they go to Randy Dalby.
Yep.
So you guys try looking to avoid the sweep. You get an RBI single. Tavano hits a single. McDowell follows up McDowell's double. You guys take a 1-0 lead. The Lightning answer with their own when Spurrier, that guy, again, collects an RBI single. And it's like it's 1-1. It looks like a ball game, and they extend the lead in the next inning with Hallett getting a single. Then Petrovsky does what Petrovsky hasn't. He was Rookie of the Year. Was he Rookie of the Year, or did he finish second to Leday?
He finished second to Leday. Yeah, he had something like 24 bombs.
Yeah, he was electric.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if they found a hole in his swing or he was just different player the next couple of years. You pick him up for a song. He comes over. He's one of your guys in the rotation. He's batting at the back end of that lineup. We talk about it all the time in PLW. 5 and 6 are real spots. They roll that lineup over to get to those 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
He gets his first of 3 down 3 RBI singles, and he could have easily been the player of the game for you guys because he was magical. He gets that run. You guys added a run in the 5th again with another Petrovsky single. The Lightning get an RBI triple off of Howland. We go to the 6th, all locked at 3. You get out of a 1st and 3rd jam when you get Dalby and Huson to end the inning. Like you walk to load the bases and you get Dalby out and Huson to end the inning. You guys finally get to Purdy. You get him to walk out after he gets 2 quick outs. Spurrier takes the spot, gets a walk. The bases are loaded now. And Petrovsky hits his 3rd RBI single of the day, and you guys take the 4-3 lead. Your second lead, but your second lead of the game. And then you come into the bottom of the second and get you kind of avoid the sweep. It's a hard-fought win, but that's kind of the wins I expect from veteran teams. I expect the Bombers, the Snappers, yourself. These are the how you guys get into playoffs because you avoid a sweep or you get the good side of a split by winning these kind of games.
Yeah, every game matters. Even early in the season, I see guys batting 7, and I've debated batting 7 here and there. And if I kept all my draft picks, I would have batted 7. And maybe I lose a game early on, and I'm kicking myself at the end. But maybe I learned something about my newer guys that I had that's going to help me win more games. So I see both sides of that story. But in our team chat, like every game matters to us. We want to do everything we can to just scratch and claw because one game can make a difference. And when you get to the end, those games, you only have like 3 left, and you wish you had that extra win. Yeah,
we kind of looked at that last season when we kind of scuffled at the end. We lost so many games by 1 run, and people talk about that 1 run. Run games are kind of like they flip-flop over and over, like, oh, we were this last year. Well, they'll balance out. Looks like we got Bruce Huson in the chat. He said, yeah, Tanic froze me on that last pitch, and he went down looking, and it was a good pitch. Like he just shrugged. Like it was literally, bam, it's over. Like, you got me.
I've been working on that pitch all off season. Last season, I think I threw it about 20 times and only 2 times for strikes.
Yeah.
Now I can kind of get it there a little bit more, but I can't have someone sit on it; they'll rip it. So I can only freeze somebody on it.
Yeah. So my player of the series is Justin Spurrier. It's not so much what he did with the bat. He went 3 for 12, hit a home run, had 4 RBIs though, which was huge. But he went 0.75 ERA, 8 innings, 12 Ks, and a one hit complete game shutout.
Yep.
When offense was a premium, he stepped up on the mound, and I think that was the right call for that game. That ended Saturday's tilt, 3 games. We had 3 splits. No, we had a sweep. We started off with a sweep, but everybody else kind of swept, and it kind of went how you and I thought. You went with your team. I was 3-0 going into that one. You were 2-1. But then we go to Sunday.
Yep.
I'm the guy that tries to buy the win. Like I'm like, you know what? Cajuns, they can't. They're not that bad. They can't be that bad. They're really good. Roosh is going to be there. Leday's not going to hit 200 all year. He's one of the guys with a 400 career batting average going into the season.
He may have the highest career batting average.
I don't know. I checked it. I did it, but my filters might have narrowed the field a little bit. I had Chen over 404.
Chen's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I dropped down last season.
Yeah.
And then Leday may have dropped down a little bit last season. Yeah.
So they go with Andrew Leday. He's got a 0-0 record. And I go with my ace, Casey Taravella, 1-0. This game is another one where we thought offense would be at a premium. Like I said, there was only 45 runs scored through 9 games. 15 were scored in this game.
Yeah, I remember watching the BP before those games started, and the balls were like flying out. Yeah. And I know that some of my teammates were like, what does the win look like? Everyone was jealous, and so.
So the Cajuns score 4 in the second inning. And the Cajuns they walk out both Taravella and Church on pitches that were, good takes, but they were tough pitches. Sashi Boba mixes in a single. Giordano grounds one through the 5-6 hole. They get 4 runs across, and then I have to go to Billy. I go to Billy to kind of shut the door. He gets out of that inning, but we're still down 4-0. My team has kind of got a pleasant attitude. We were at full strength. We had Derek Corral. We had Sanson. We had Garcia. Our lineup is completely different when it's full strength.
And that's why when we were talking last week, I'm like, yes, I have you guys to win the series. You're at full strength. And
and all the pitching was there. We didn't have Cade. No Cade.
Yeah.
But that was okay. We knew he wouldn't be there, but when we had the guys we had, we're going to roll with. Bottom of the second, we answer against Lede right away. I was really happy with that, but it's an error that gets us started. So again, uncharacteristic. Cajuns last year won on pitching and defense.
Mm-hmm.
Errors were the key to this game. Errors cost us the game in this series. And then a 3-run bomb by my guy, Derek Corral.
Yep.
And when we thought home runs would be at a premium, he didn't waste any time. We tie the thing at 4. We tack on another run later thanks to another error, a single and a 2-out single by Casey Taravella. We take the lead 5-4. Cajuns come right back on a wind ball that falls, but then Devlin Daniel, again, another guy who's, we'll call it well-traveled.
Do you know that Devlin's only 24 years old?
Yeah.
Huh. I feel like he's been in the league for like 5 years.
Yeah, like he's been here. Yeah, it feels like it.
And he's only 24. I was thinking this was a guy that was like 31, 32.
No, he's been around. And he's also well-traveled. And I think he's found a spot. All professional teams in the big major fours talk about fit.
Yes, Jose Bautista, one of the guys with the Pirates, was nobody until he ended up on the Blue Jays. I think that's where he found him. So, quick history: Devlin was with the Snappers, and then I think he was with the Lightning at some point. I think he was even with the Cajuns at some point.
Yep.
And then he Warbirds, and now back with the Cajuns.
Yep.
I think he was with the Cajuns a very short time.
Yeah, Cajuns very short time, but he's got a lot of jerseys. I like Devlin. I think he's a guy that. He's a 250, 260 hitter, but if he plays 50 games, he's going to hit 25 to 30 home runs.
Yeah.
Like he has that light tower power. He did it there. Cajuns are back at it. They take a lead 6-5, and then so I was kind of like Billy's not struggling, but he's getting people out, and he was effective in the wind. He was telling me that he had to re-grip some balls mid-motion because the wind was changing.
Whoa.
And I'm like, so he knows how to hold a couple pitches. He's changing the grip mid-motion.
That's like the next level WIFFLE right there.
That is some stuff that, hey, Billy's a good athlete, and I love the kid, but he's the best athlete every time I play with him, and so I hate him. You know what I mean? But we keep it going. Osgood gets a single, back-to-back doubles by my man Nick Sansone, Derek Corral back at it again, and then a 2-run home run by my 3-way star, Casey Taravella. We retake the lead, and then Osgood retires the side. We take the first game 9-6, which is a big offensive output considering we only scored 3 runs, none earned in our first series.
And that was the first runs that the Cajuns have scored this season.
Yes, they were very happy about it.
And at this point, Runnels didn't have a hit yet.
No,
and going into game 4.
Tara Hall had a higher batting average than 30 runs.
More hits on the season.
So we win that first game. We're looking good. Game 2, rookie all-star. I got to play with him for a long time. Gavin Manziel takes the mound against my second horse because I had already used a lot of Billy innings. I wasn't going to start Billy game 2. I went to JT Church. Yep. We didn't waste any time in the first inning getting to Gavin. Taravella doubles. Garcia hits a single to right, and then with 2 outs, that's how we get to take a 1-0 lead. Then Osgood gets us out of a bases-loaded jam in the top of the third with a strikeout on some of the nastiest pitches you're going to see in this wind. We're going to clip something. Hopefully we get to show it one of these days, the Casey Taravella knuckleball. But that's for a little bit later.
Man.
Corral hits his second home run of the series off of Manziel. We go up 2-0. Then Manziel gets his revenge off Osgood. He hits his first home run. He crushes it. It's no doubt. Like, I've seen that swing of the 30 home runs he hit in the PCL. I probably got to see 25 of them.
A little bit of a golf swing.
Yeah,
he's at high towering shots.
Yeah, if the wind starts blowing out, a home run contest, him, Mateo, Austin Topol, these guys that are short in stature, but man, bat speed, hand-to-eye coordination, they're just so good. They get that. We scratch another run across thanks to another Cajun error and a 2-out single by my rookie, Brendan Height. He gets a single. We take the lead 3-1. And then Taravella comes in the 6th with one of the nastiest knuckleballs you're ever going to see to get Lede, as it kind of just...
I was in the booth, and I'm calling it, and the ball looked up and away, and I go, that's a ball up in it, and it comes down, and I hear it hit the 10, and I just go silent.
Yeah, and
strike 3.
And it was beautiful to watch. I watched it because it was clipped on the stream. So if you got to watch the game, you get to see it clipped. It looked like a true cartoon. Like it was circling because the wind had grabbed it and just kind of threw it. And we sneak out of there with a 2-0 win, and we win our first series. Very excited about it. And then we're going to Ryan Roosh is in the building. Cy Young Award winner, 20 games. I didn't think anybody was going to win 20 games.
No, I didn't. I thought Mayo's
record was untouchable.
Yep.
But
it's what it tied it, right?
he tied it. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We go to Trench Pacone, and then the Cajuns literally get out on us early, 3-0. And the reason, they get it with 2 outs. We have a couple guys on. They hit a fly ball in the air. I got 4 guys standing around it, and the wind is so hard. It falls between all 4
of them.
And that leads to the runs. They add another one to get the third, and it's like, that's the difference between winning and losing.
Mm-hmm.
We get 2 runs on the bottom of the third thanks to 3 walks, a single, and another Cajun error. So the fielding is tough. And then I watch the stream, and I'm like, you know what? My expectations are up here, and they are still up here. But that ball is so hard to catch in this wind. Like, these guys are really good wiffle ball players, and it's just is what it is. The Cajuns go back-to-back with a home run by Roosh. We got another highlighted. By Roosh and Mansell. They grow the lead to 5-2. And Leday does a masterful job in this game, I think, of managing himself.
Oh, he did. I remember that.
I think he was in the game 3 different times. He would pitch an inning and pull himself out.
Yep. And he would always double check with Runnels as well. I remember seeing them on the side over here. Runnels, give him a little credit too.
Yeah.
They bounce ideas off each other.
They bounced ideas off each other. They used all the innings that they could. We finally get Leday to walk out, and they go to Sashi Boba because we had gotten everybody else out. Everybody else just walked out. And Sashi comes in and does what Sashi Boba does. He gets people out. It doesn't look, it's a lot of arms and legs. He might be the only person that goes over the line that we have. And it's just a natural motion because he's so long. And he was effective. He got guys out. And they take the third game, get the bad end of a split, get their first win of the season. I think we're happy with the result. I think the Cajuns are happy with the result.
Runnels gets his first hit
Gets his first hit left-handed. He goes, I think I'm going to go bat left-handed the whole rest of the series. I just see it better. 2 bad bats later. He's back to right-handed. He's back to right-handed. My player for this series, easily for me, was Billy Osgood. He gets 2 wins, 1.57 ERA. He pitched 7 2/3, but it was really 9. He used all 9 innings, 8 strikeouts. He goes 3 for 11 for 273. I think that's a pretty easy call for me.
I think that day we had Taravella up in the booth.
Yeah.
He had some nice catches out there and pitching that 3-run bomb. But yeah, Billy really kind of shut the door there in the big spots for you guys.
Billy made that those wins possible. We kind of walked out a little earlier than I had liked, but you know what? That's what the team does. We pick each other up. And then the last series of the day is when Mother Nature is in absolute, complete effect. Trevor Bauer, the producer downstairs, can attest. We had snow on the field, folks. It was snowing in April.
Where are we right now?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So you got these 2 teams, both 2-1, come in. Briner on the mound against Kenny Santiwan. This series, this game, I just looked at it and I'm like, you know what? It's like Bombers score runs in bunches. I'm starting to call them, they're called bombing runs. Like they put up 4 or 5 runs. They're probably the only team that doesn't need 5 hits to score 5 runs. If you make an error, you walk. Their power is 1 through 6 with Alex hitting bombs on the 6th spot. They score 7 in the first. They score 7 in the second. And it's, Bauer hits 2 home runs in the second inning. And it's literally it's all Bombers all day in this one, except for one guy. Austin Topol hits 2 home runs. He accounts for most of their runs in that game. It's like Zach Hartwell hits a home run. Raul Salazar making plays at third, looking like a steal at the end of the draft. And Zach Hartwell makes 3 plays in the outfield. He makes a play where the ball's on his left shoulder, and the wind gets it and throws it to his right shoulder. He jumps in the air and catches it behind him. And it's just like, I got it. Like, it's just routine. I'm like, no, it's not routine, guys. Like, that's a really difficult play. I think the addition of the emergence of Hartwell, you've got Hollis, you've got the Fernandez brothers, and Raul Salazar. That defense, it keeps Hollis is a great defender. He wasn't there, but Trevor doesn't have to play defense.
Mm-hmm.
Big Al doesn't have to play defense. If they don't want whoever to play defense, they've got some guys there that literally make that team, I'm going to say, a top 3 defensive team. And if they're scoring 14 runs, it's going to be a tough. They're going to be a tough out.
They're a team that really moved up for my own personal power rankings this week.
Well, you had a sneaky one. So when you did the preseason power rankings, you said your sneaky pick to win this to win it all is the Legends. My sneaky pick is the Bombers.
I don't think the Bombers too much of a sneaky pick.
Well, they were picked at 7 in the preseason poll, so I mean they weren't.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was like, oh no, Max has to work, Mateos, they're not going to be there. We're not going to have enough guys. Whatever. They're here every week and they're going to crush. They're going to make playoffs, and it's either the Bombers or Lightning for new champions or Legends new champions.
That's going to be a poll. We're going to run that poll one of these days. Repeat champion for the first time ever or a new champion. So game 2, we go to Austin Topol, the rookie who has looked
like Mateo.
He's
at the plate.
He looks like Mateo at the plate. He plays really great defense, pitching very well against Max Fernandez. And it's like literally with 2 outs, it's that man again. He hits his 3rd home run of the season. This one, 3-run homer. They take a 3-0 lead. The Snappers add another run thanks to the 2nd solo home run from Weber in the series. He hits a bomb. In the top of the 3rd, the Snappers add another one with Austin Topol. Hits his 4th home run of the series. Snappers are up 5-0. And it's like, okay, when are the Bombers going to start their run of, I'm going to get this, They get on the board. Kenny Santiago hits one on the jet stream, hits a solo, 5-1. Bombers get 2 more on the bottom thanks to MVP Trevor Bauer. Hits a 2-run bomb for his 3rd of the series. The Snappers are up 5-3 after 4. It's the top of the 6th when Mother Nature decides that she's going to have a good time. The snow's on the field. The wind is blowing so hard it almost blows down the backstop.
Oh, we had to pause for a little bit and get out here and fix that backstop. And still not fully fixed. We have the tractor kind of holding it up right now.
Tomolo adds a 2-run single. They, a walk to Wilson. They get a 7 spot in the top. They go up 12-3. And then Brandon Gregg comes in and gets a 1-2-3-6. Just throwing the lollipop, saying hit it. They get out of the series. It's a split. Both teams say, you know what? It's inclement weather, we're calling it. I think we all agree it was kind of extenuating circumstances. My player of the series is Austin Topol. 625, 5 for 8.
4 bombs.
4 bombs. 5 runs scored, 10 RBIs. He pitched 3 innings with 5 Ks and gave up no runs.
Wow.
So to say that he was the best player in that series is probably a safe assumption. So next we're going to look at the chat. We're going to see if we got anybody. Looks like we got Alec Holligan in the chat. Who else we got in there?
Let's see.
Logan
Lightning
Christie?
got that chip on their shoulders this season. Yeah, Lightning kind of have something to prove, after last season.
Yep. Alec Holligan. Yeah, there we go. We're going to see the new power rankings. Those are coming right up right now. We're going to go with the next power rankings.
We saw Runnels in the chat earlier. Runnels was mad because we keep hating on the Cajuns. Well, you guys are going to – I have the Cajuns farther than us in the power rankings still.
Yeah.
They're going to do well, but right now they're 1-5, and this is our opportunity.
Yeah.
This is our opportunity to hate on the Cajuns.
Yeah, can we make that?
We're not going to be able to do it for much longer. Give us a break here.
Yeah. The Cajuns own the Legends, so, we won our first series. We've had some really great series, but that was the first one. Can you make that bigger, Trevor? Make that predictions. This is the latest power ranking. This is going into week 3. So these are the week 3 power rankings. I got the Lightning at number 1. They hold at number 1. We kind of talked about their strengths. I think that maybe the only weakness they might have is when Dalby's not there. It's the back end of that lineup.
Yeah, you look at the back of the lineup and you have some guys some veterans that can produce, but when you match them up against some of the other teams back of the lineup, sometimes the other team has them on paper, but it all just kind of depends. Riley can have some big series.
Yes.
I've seen him hit 3 home runs in a series. Purdy's numbers might not be that good on paper, but he comes through in the clutch.
Yeah.
No one on base, whatever. Throw him cookies, he's getting himself out. You got a runner in scoring position, use the nastiest stuff, he'll stay back, hit it the other way, and get a run in. So, that's kind of deceiving there. But, yeah, if you had to pick apart something, I would agree. It'd be that back into the lineup,
And
but that's it.
And they've also been very fortunate. Spurrier hasn't had to miss any series yet. Purdy hasn't had to miss any series. So attendance has been their strength, and they've capitalized on it to their credit.
And it looks like it continues to be their strength. As I saw their roster that's going to be on Saturday, they pretty much have their whole team here.
Yeah.
Dalby's here. They have like 4 guys on their bench. Like no one has it. We have 0 on our bench.
Well, you're trying to make a trade, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Number 2, I have the Vaders. I have the Vaders up with 2 spots. I think you're going to see a little more Ethan Ibarra. Mm-hmm. And the reason for me moving them up is one player. It's Tanner Roundy on the mound.
Yeah. That kind of, when you talk about weaknesses, that's the weaknesses you talk about with the Vaders. They're pitching that, but now Tanner has stepped up, and it's not a rookie step, it was someone that has proven himself in the past. And so I agree with you. I had the Lightning 1, and I had the Vaders 2 as well because of Roundy. Yeah. And Edder's going to figure it out. They're just too deep of a team.
Yeah, too deep of a team. And then we see Bruce Houston, Jaden Trout. You're 100% correct, but again, it's a guy who last season hit in like the 240s. He can be productive for sure. Mm-hmm. But again, it's just an unproven back end of the lineup.
Unproven. And, something I can give Trout credit to is he does take really patient at bats for the rookies, and he does take walks where some rookies don't take those walks. So I think you look at his batting average, but his on-base percentage is still pretty good.
Yeah. So we're going to go number 3. I got your Sand Vipers at number 3. Again, I think your lineup is one of the deepest 1 through 6 when everybody's here.
But that's what we're going to struggle with a little bit.
And then my if I do strengths and weaknesses, the weakness is lack of attendance puts people out of position. You got guys playing positions that they're not really happy with, or maybe not accustomed to, and then pitching.
Yes.
And I know that you're working hard on the phones. Like we see it in the managers' chat all the time. You guys don't get to see it, but we see it. He's throwing out, hey, first round picks. Hey, we're trying to get a body. Perpetua would be great. You got some free agent guys that are going to walk. I mean, people don't think they are. They're going to walk. They're going to new teams, guys. They're going to happen. It could be anybody on any roster. These guys can play for whoever they want. I just got you guys down sliding 1 spot. The lineup's just too potent.
Yeah, it's potent, but, it's our pitching and defense. Tom not only hurts our pitching. We could survive our lineup without Tom because we have such depth there. But Tom in the outfield was that kid died making those one-handed grabs all the time, and we don't have that. I had us actually 7th. I had us dropping down 7th right now unless I can make a move.
That's looking forward. I'm just looking at what we've done.
Yeah, looking right now.
Basically, I'm looking at what we've done and what we plan to do the next week. Because every week, we talked about it in the very first thing. We know nothing about predictions. We get them wrong every week. Look at my predictions last year. Look at the predictions last year. You can see the finishers.
Yep.
I got the Bombers moving up 1 spot from 5 to 4. Mm-hmm. I'm impressed with their team defense. They're pitching with Bauer. Mm-hmm. With all 3 Fernandez brothers can pitch. The defense with Hartwell in the outfield.
Yeah, and the addition of Raul to help him in it.
I got to play with Raul, and when we had Taco League, he was a Baron. And I told people that would listen, he is a PLW caliber infielder. He might not be able to hit yet, but he's on a team that guys that can teach him how to hit. Mm-hmm. He can play defense, and that's huge in this league. As you well know, I've had guys that don't hit a whole lot, but they're so vital to us being successful.
Yeah, Flinty and Dean for us. And this week they're both going to be in a lineup for the first time. And
so that's
get
great.
Some work. But I think the Bombers looking really solid right now.
Looking solid, and attendance hasn't been an issue for them.
Right.
Snappers, I have them going from 6 to 5.
Yep.
They're again no attendance yet. They're going to have attendance issues this week.
Yep.
No Taylor Briner, but Wilson looks like the Wilson of season 4 with the pitching. Mm-hmm. And those 2 rookies, Ryan Murphy, they missed the bat for sure. Austin Topol, Adam Kennedy, they are legitimate PLW players.
They are. And Kennedy's done nothing but impress me in the outfit. Everybody knows who Topol is. He's not a secret anymore. But Kennedy, I don't know if they've seen what kind of reads he gets in the outfield. He looks really good in the outfield. And I'm sitting here saying I missed on that pick right there.
Yeah.
I wish I would have got to see him a little bit more out here. But he's someone I would have drafted and kept.
Yeah, you got to watch out for those sneaky snapper guys because they brought both of those guys out. They both, Shane friends, they both came out. They were able to get both of them through no shady business.
No shady business. I mean, Topol was number 2 overall. It's not like any of us had a choice there. And Silva looked really good when he came out. Like, Topol went where he would have. Yep. What would have been bad is if he would have slipped to like 7th or something.
Yeah.
Then we would all be like really upset that we didn't get to scout him enough. But.
Yeah. I have the Night Owls moving from 7 to 6. The Night Owls, they're young, they're aggressive. They don't. For someone who they started down, they got humbled a little bit, but they played well. They got a sweep. They're 4-2. They're in second. They probably could be another spot up, but I'm looking also at if they play the snappers at full strength, could they beat them 2 out of 3?
I don't think they could beat them their first go around, but maybe the second half they could when they figure out some more things. They're still trying to figure out the back end of that bullpen, the back end of the rotation. And when I see their lineup for this week, they have their 6 guys there, and I see Silva and Holligan on the bench.
Yeah, so maybe they're not. Maybe their attendance is going to be a little off this week.
No, their attendance is there.
Oh,
they have everyone there. Holligan, I think at shortstop or pitching, but they're both on defense.
Okay,
but they're not hitting. They're being DH'd for. And so that just kind of shows the kind of depth they have right there, But the problem is I reach out to Bo to maybe make a move some guys. But what do I have? I have a lot of picks. What do they have? They have a lot of picks. They are set for now and the future.
Yeah.
Out of all the franchises right now, Night Owls could be the most valuable.
Yeah, they're moving up for sure. Number 7, I have my Legends. I had a 10th last week because we only scored 3 runs. None of them earned. We were back at full strength. We're going to have a more full strength lineup going forward, probably through the middle of May, so 5 or 6 weeks. If I have my pitching, if I have my guys, I'll put my team, and everybody kind of knows their role. I'll put my team against anybody in a 3-game series. I have us moving up, but again, this is all fluid. We could shit the bed and move right back down to the bottom. It could happen. It's happened before.
Who are you guys playing this week?
We get the Pharaohs.
Okay.
First game Saturday morning, 10 o'clock.
Okay. Yep.
So that's going to be.
I think we're going to have Bo Evans up here in the booth.
Oh, that'd be great.
And then he reached out to me. He was trying to sell himself. I'm like, Bo, we don't have anybody here. You're in.
You're in.
He's like, I've talked in front of. I gave speech classes. I've done vocal work. I've done, well, do you have an alarm clock?
Yeah.
Set it for whatever, 8:30, and get over here. And you're in. And
I'd love to have Bo come on up. Come on up on a Thursday afternoon.
I tried. He was out of town. I tried to get him up here.
Awesome.
And then I think Hicks might be there as well.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I got the Cajun slop dropping. I kept them at third because I'm like, you know what? That first series, the Lightning looked really good.
Yep.
The wind was a factor. But their offense, Andrew Leday is struggling. That's not characteristic of him at the top of the order. He had him moved himself down to second. Then he made himself third.
And then I think he's either third or even farther back now.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk about himself too much. I'm wondering if his knee's an issue, if there's a health issue, or just struggling like normal people do.
Yeah. So
we've all been through it.
Yeah, they're going to win on pitching and defense. Menzel looked the part.
2 bombs.
2 bombs.
Yep.
He looked the part. Giordano hit the ball well.
Yep.
Runnels is going to hit. Leday's going to hit.
Yep.
Roosh is going to hit.
Yep.
When it's going to happen, it's not when.
No, this is when Runnels is going to hit. When he plays a Legends, he's going to have 7 hits and 4 bombs. When he plays a Vipers, he's going to have 8 hits and 5 bombs. That's when he's going to hit.
Yeah, but it's not if they hit. It's just when. They're going to hit.
Yep.
They're going to score runs. Look for these guys to climb back up, be fighting for a playoff spot. Their pitching is too good. Their defense is too good. And attendance, I don't think, is going to be that much of an issue for them. It was kind of a little bit of an issue this week, but it is what it is.
Yep.
I have the Pharaohs at 9 still. They have flashes. They look really good for portions. They've cleaned up the defense. The offense is totally reliant on the home run.
Yeah.
And the weather has not been conducive to that skill set so far. Baxa looks like a number 1, but if he doesn't show, you go to Bosnos. If his slider is flat and doesn't have change of plane, he's going to get hit hard. And he had change of plane this week. He looked really good. And they were able to get away with winning a series playing with 5 fielders. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, and during that series, Tara was still there, and they asked her in the dugout, why are you not in the field? And she's like, going to be useless. Like, you could just stand on the wall and stop a double if it happens to it there. But, yeah, they looks like they have a full squad this time. And they'll have plenty of guys against you.
Yep, they're going to have plenty of guys. And then I have the ones. The ones dropped 3 games. I dropped them down to 10. Again, and the reason for that is I count. So they have I'm going to say there are 4 guys. You got Tyler Peter, AK, Goot, Austin, Goldberg.
Yep.
Then you got the rookies that are always going to show.
Yep.
They need for them to be a more competitive team. Stein has to show, or Chen has to show, or Spencer has to show.
Yep.
they need an additional bat in that lineup. But it also allows for Bird not to play the field. He can just be a hitter. It allows for AK to be on the bump. They can put Spencer in the outfield, move Parsons over, and move Che to the infield. They can move some other pieces around. The rookies are still trying to find their footing. And they've hit the ball well, but the weather has not been conducive to what their skill set is.
Yeah, I see how Chen was upset when he came out. He's like, why did I pick a day to come out when the wind was blowing in? I should have stayed home.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the rankings this week.
So I do have a question to wrap this up.
Yep.
Right now, series, Pharaohs versus ones, who are you putting your money on?
Who's showing up for the ones?
Yeah, I guess that's the question, yeah.
If it's going to be a guess, if
you get Chen or Stein, you don't get them both.
Okay. If I would take, if either one of those show up,
Yep.
if Chen shows up and Chen's motivated to play, he's a top 3 player. He's one of the true 3-way players in this league. He can pitch, he can hit, and he can field. His pitching when it's on is Cy Young caliber. His offense when it's on is top 3 offense in the league. His defense, he's a big guy. He covers a lot of ground. He's really agile for a guy that long. That's where I think their advantage is, because the pitching that the Pharaohs are going to see in this league is so much more advanced. They face Stein, and it's like, oh, a changeup. You know, they saw Goot throw good pitches. They've faced good pitchers. They've shown well for themselves, but they rely on the home run so much. As a team, I don't think their average is going to be over 250. I think they're going to be a 240 hitting team, but they're going to have a high slug.
Yep.
And they don't walk enough. That is the issue with them. They definitely swing a lot. I don't have a problem with any of that. They've shown flashes. Logan is one of the true 3-way stars.
Yep.
He's learning. He's managing on the fly. And attendance has been an issue. When they all show, and Tyler's here from California, they're a formidable team. They can beat anybody. They're going to prove it. They're going to sweep somebody that thinks that they're going to take 3 games from them. It's not going to happen. But yeah, that's the rankings this week. I think it's going to be fluid. I think we're going to look at the next week. We're going to predict again.
Yep.
We're going to look at the projections a little bit. I think this is fluid. I think everybody can move up or down 2 or 3 spots now. As we get a little deeper, the movement will be less.
And we're gonna what's gonna do it for me, Brad, is seeing, and I think you mentioned this earlier, seeing what the real attendance of these teams are going to start to be. It looks like the Bombers have everyone every week. Sand Vipers are kind of piecing it together here and there. It looks like you guys are starting to get more of a solid core.
Yeah, we're going to have a good core. It's going to be week to week. But once May starts, I lose Nick for a couple weeks. He's going to be out of town. But I get Casey full-time for all the time because he's coaching his daughter. So those things. Billy's there every week. Garcia and Corral are 50-50s. But I knew that going in. I got Height. I got Cade. I got Buff. They're going to be there almost every week. I'm happy with the team I got. Let's go to Player of the Week. Player of the Week this week, I think it's no surprise. It's going to be Austin Topol. I mean, he was unbelievable. 4 home runs. Pitched well. 10 RBIs. He's the second guy in 2 weeks to have 10 RBIs.
Oh, yeah.
So played really well. It would have been great to see that 3rd game, but Mother Nature said no.
Oh, Player of the Week with just 2 games.
Yeah, so not a lot of offense this week. Remember, we only had 45 runs scored on Saturday. 15 scored in 1 game, folks. So 30 runs were scored in 8 games. That's not pleasant wiffle ball to watch. That's like watching paint dry. The next, let's see who else we got in the chat today. Looks like we got Richard Parsons in the chat, Alec Holligan in the chat. Jamison Steed is there.
Parsons making a point, with the ones. He's saying that 2 of their losses were just by 1 run.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's the ones record right now?
2-4.
2-4. So they could easily be 4-2, tied for second with the Night Owls. But of course, there's always the 1-run games.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference between a championship and being at the bottom. I'm looking at what are you hitting as a team. If you look at historically, and you can do this on PLW website, you can go to stats, you can go to each season. If you go to the full database and you go, I want to see season 4, and you go, what did the teams hit to finish at the bottom of the table? If you're hitting 240 as a team, you're finishing at the bottom of the table. That's just the PLW. 6-man lineups, You got to hit 275.
Yep.
You got to roll it over. You got to be on base 38% of the time, 380 on base.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a team, and you got to slug. I think it's 490 is what you got to do. So, Kyle, when he gets up here, Kyle devours those numbers. I can't wait to get Kyle Lohman up here, and he'll be able to spit all that out. But those are the keys to success. Oh, and Trevor's going to pull it up for us and let you see.
Yeah.
Full database. You can pull it up, and you can look, and you can go season 4, and who's hitting what, and team totals, and all this stuff. You can look at all that and see, hey, Brad is, full of this, and this is that. You can look up every game that we have, everybody's record, everybody what they batted. And when I tell you that I'm the worst hitter in the history of PLW, it's not the truth, but we might call it, instead of the Mendoza line, the Ogden line. I think I hit 201 as a career. So now we're going to go to the picks.
All right.
Week 3 predictions. Series 1, my Legends, 3-3. We will have, so for all, no Casey game 1.
Okay.
No Derek Corral.
Okay.
Everyone else is there, and Cade is there.
Okay.
Game 1 pitcher. Oh, no, excuse me. And no Church.
Oh, and no Church.
And no Church.
Okay. Okay.
Game 1 pitcher is probably going to be Billy Osgood.
Okay. So I saw the Pharaohs. They have a very deep lineup. Dustin Staggs from SoCal. He's not even in a starting batting order right now.
Wow. Okay.
And it looked like they were batting 7. And I glanced at all this before I came up because all these lineups just got thrown in the chat. Didn't really have a chance to really dissect everything. And what the Pharaohs are
2-4.
2-4 right now. I'm going to go a little wild card here. I'm going to say the Pharaohs are going to take this series. And I'm going to go based on you kind of missing Church, who I think people don't understand what he means to your rotation.
Yeah.
You're still going to have Billy, still going to have Taravella. And I think it's going to be very difficult for the Pharaohs to hit those guys. But I think they're just going to have luck this week.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it happening. I definitely can. Like I said, they've had flashes of brilliance. I think that Billy is going to be the great equalizer. So is Trench. Trench is going to pitch. They haven't seen pitches like that.
Yeah.
And it's completely different. They don't have any lefties in their lineup.
That's true.
That's a problem for them. They're going to have breaking balls that they're going to get hit with, and we're going to warn them, hey, you got to get out of the way. And they're going to go, it wasn't been a ball. No, it wasn't. We can watch it on the stream. You're going to see that Billy throws a ball that breaks 4 feet, and Trench's might break more.
Yeah. His breaks, it stops, slows down, change up, and then it breaks more.
Yeah.
Like you don't see that from anybody else.
Yeah, so I'm going with I'm going to pick my guys this week. I think we're going to have too much offense. I think my lefties against their slider-heavy pitchers.
Okay.
Because Garcia's there all 3 games. And I got Nicky Sansone. He's my click to pick this week.
Okay. 2 lefties in the lineup. Yep.
2 lefties in a lineup. And I think Nick is going to have a big series. Because these are right-handers throwing sliders against a guy who sits back and punishes balls in the strike zone.
And looking at the wind a little bit, it looks like in the beginning of the day it's going to be blowing from the southeast, which is coming in. And as the day goes by, at night, it's going to shift to southwest. So I think when you're playing in the beginning, it's going to have wind straight in, which is going to be okay for lefties down the line. I think it's going to be tough for righties. So
be a tough series, a win series. But my defense is there. Their defense is there. I think it's going to be a good series. I can see it going either way, but I said I'm going to go with my guys this week.
So I'm going 2-1 Pharaohs. You're saying what?
2-1 Legends.
2-1 Legends. No sweeps.
I don't pick sweeps.
Sweeps are fun.
I know.
If you want to get a little crazy on here.
I know we can do that. Well, I got a sweep potential later.
Okay.
Second series, Snappers, no Taylor Briner.
Okay.
Against your Vipers, and you have nobody but 6 guys.
Yeah, so we have myself, McDowell, Hicks, Petrosky,
Flinty.
Dean, Flinty.
Okay.
So we're missing Tavano, which is big. Landon, even though injured, he's not going to be there, so we're just kind of there. If anybody gets sick or bails out or stays out too late, I think our average age there is 42 and a half. Might have to call on Leonard. Well, that's not going to get us younger. Who's the youngest guy I can pull if I'm missing for an emergency?
I have no idea.
I have to go look on that.
I have no idea. So who do you got? I already know.
I mean, I'm going to go with my guys every week. I don't care. I'm always going to go with this every week. Sometimes I'm going to go with the sweep, but right now I'm not going to the sweep. I'm a little uneasy. I'm going to go 2-1. So they're going to be battled games. They're going to be really tough. Not having Briner there, he's just lucky. He's good. He manages. He catches everything. He jumps and dives and robs us of home runs. not having him there is going to let us relax a little bit, And I'm expecting to see something out of Dean and Flinty this week as well. So I'm going to go with us, but I think it's very close. I think it's going to be tough beating this rookie Topol. Wilson and Weber both been looking good as well. They don't have Brandon Gregg either.
Yeah, no Brandon Gregg.
That's GK kind of kills us sometimes. He kind of waits for those spots and hits that sneaky home run. I'm like, yeah. So I think it's going to be a good series. Who do you got?
I got the Snappers 2-1, and I made this pick before I knew Taylor wasn't there.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with the pick. I just think that their pitching, even without Briner, is a little deeper than yours. Topol's a legitimate pitcher. Wilson looks like the Wilson of season 4, not season 5. Weber throws strikes, so they're going to get maximum innings out of those guys. GK plays elite level defense. Topol plays elite level defense. We've already commented about Kennedy in the outfield. That's the only, and again, if I knew Taylor wasn't there, I might have had a difference. But I'm not going to change my pick. I'm going to go with what I thought. I got Snappers 2-1 in that series. I think it's going to be a good series. I can see that going either way. And again, if the weather is, there you go, James Shorey.
James Shorey's not. You can get him as a emergency player, but you can't use him as a roster spot or claim him. Yeah. I like James. He played a lot with us. I like Leonard. I like James. Depends if we want pitching. James Shorey could help us in the outfield if we're missing. Miguel Ruiz. Yeah, there's a lot of good emergency picks there. But that's if we don't have 6.
Yeah.
Somebody gets hurt or whatever.
So we're different already in the first 2 because we went 3-1 last week. So we tied because he picked with his guys and they lost. And I picked against mine and we won.
Okay.
We finish out the night. Ones, Vaders.
I think we're both going to agree on this one.
We're both going to agree on this one. But it looks like you're going to have Stein.
Yes.
So Stein's in the lineup. That makes it a sneaky pick because I think his pitching, if the wind is blowing in especially, is enough that they might be able to steal a game.
Can he get 3 wins, though?
I don't think
he might be able to get 2 wins.
He might be able to get 2 wins.
If they do it right. Looking at their lineup, I saw Tyler Peter was below the line. So I don't know if he's on the bench and not hitting in the starting lineup or he's just showing up late.
Yeah,
but he's a big underrated piece to their core now. I saw Ogden was batting in the 6th spot. I'm glad to see him getting a start. Switch hitter. I hadn't seen a lot of power out of him, but facing him in the winter leagues, he puts together good at bats.
Yes.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing him in this lineup.
Yeah. I think we're both going to agree. I have the Vaders winning 2-1. This is my sweep potential. Because the Vaders, and Cody and I kind of talk about this when we're in the booth when we do Vader games. Vaders are a team that can be embarrassed, and they can embarrass you. I've been on both. I've been on the they've embarrassed me side more than I care to imagine, but they're an emotional team. If they get going early, if Sandy Juan's pitching well, if Roundy's pitching well, if they're hitting, if Edder's hitting, Hut's hitting, Gio's hitting, oh my goodness, this team looks completely different. The confidence they get, the chest puff out, and these guys look really good.
Yeah, I can't go with. I want to go with the ones to win the series, but I don't think the ones are going to get swept at all. I think Stein's going to be really close to winning the series for him.
Yeah,
especially with the wind the way it is. But who knows? The wind shifts all the time.
Yeah.
So if the wind starts blowing out, advantage Vaders.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's blowing in and things are managed right, and maybe AK doesn't pitch, then they could end up maybe winning the series.
Yeah, and Cody Reynolds in the chat, he says that the ones have always hit Santy Juan well. That is a very true statement. They see that knuckleball well, but Billy, I was out here last week in the first show. He was working on a lot of stuff that didn't have a knuckle in it.
Yeah, he has been, yeah.
So hopefully he can change that repertoire, but I'm going to stick with my pick, the Vaders. I think you're going to stick with the Vaders.
Yeah, I'll stick with the Vaders, but yeah.
Yeah, so this is the next series, which is the first one on Sunday.
Okay.
Bombers, Cajuns.
Ooh, Bombers, Cajuns. Okay. I'm not doing this because I almost don't want to say this because Reynolds is in the chat, but I think as good as the Bombers are, I think this is where the Cajuns things are going to click a little bit.
Okay.
I didn't think I saw Roosh on the lineup card.
Okay.
Cody might be able to confirm that. Is Roosh playing at all in this series? I think they're going to click a little bit. I think Gavin got his debut jitters out of the way. I expect to see a big series out of him, mainly for the hitting and defense. I think the Bombers might get shocked a little bit, and Cajuns are going to kind of show what they've been showing and take this series 2-1.
Cody's little self-defecation there. He's like, "Hey, Bombers sweep. 15-0 in all three. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
That's what Cody expects us to say.
Yeah, that's what he expects us to say. I like the Bombers here, and again, the reason I like the Bombers is because they have a defensive team that doesn't give extra outs. Hartwell's playing well, Salazar's playing well. The Fernandez brothers have been in attendance every game, and that lineup 1 through 6. If Hollis Hale, I didn't see Hollis's. I didn't see them. I was at work.
I don't think I saw Hollis's name in there.
Okay, so no Hollis, but that means Raul slides right over to third. They're fine. That lineup 1 through 6, and they got TB52 at the top of that lineup. They have as much pitching as the Cajuns. We got one. We got no Santiwan. Oh, you have no Santiwan. Okay.
Okay, no Santiwan on the Bombers.
So,
okay, so that, they still got Max, they still got Mateo, they still got Alice that can throw, and those guys just have to make up half the innings because Bauer can take the other 9. But still, the Cajuns, defending champs, they're 1-5. They're not going to stay 1-5. They're going to figure it out. They have something to prove now. They've been clipping all the little stuff where we're talking trash and they're watching their team chat. I think they're going to be motivated. I think they're going to come out and shock some people, and they're going to take this series from the Bombers.
I like it. I can see it happening. I still have the Bombers going 2-1, but a flip here or there, a good defense, a ball that falls in. These games are won and lost by 1 play, 2 plays, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but 6-man lineups, you turn them over so fast. In 6 innings, it's done in a heartbeat. Last series of the night, the nightcap. Lightning 5-1, number 1 in the polls, looking like a number 1 team. The Night Owls, the up-and-comers, they're number 2 in the standings, a little lower in the power rankings because they were lower to begin with, and they've kind of had an advantageous schedule, but they've won the games they're supposed to win. I have the Lightning 2-1, and the reason I have the Lightning is it looks like they have a full complement. They have the full Monty, Dalby.
Randy Dalby, yep.
I think they have entirely too much pitching for the Owls.
And I agree. I think if we're in the second half of the season, maybe the Owls could be taking a series here. The Owls, very deep team. Lightning are very good. And the Owls have everybody. So when I'm going for a sweep here, and I'm saying the Lightning are going to sweep, it's because we just saw the Lightning. Lightning are good, and they're hot, and they're going to face the Owls, who are still kind of figuring things out, who have just as much talent. I think the Owls have just as much talent as the Lightning. But I think the Lightning are going to show up and sweep.
Yeah. You got a sweep.
I got a sweep there, yeah.
Wow, okay. I don't have a sweep. I don't predict sweeps.
Lightning played with fire. I don't like to predict sweeps, but they played with fire last week. And I don't even know how we took 1 game from them. I think the Owls are going to beat us when we play the Owls, but I think the Lightning are kind of hot right now, and I think they're going to ride that.
Yeah, I can see all these predictions being completely wrong, because that's just kind of the way it is with wiffle ball. We don't know. I mean, we've seen the Warbirds dominate the bottom of the table, beat the defending champs, the ones in a 3-game sweep, and then we've seen teams that shouldn't be battle it out. We've had Legends with 6 guys, and I'm one of the 6 guys. Take the ones to extra innings twice. I mean, anything's possible. So we're going to add a little extra thing here. We kind of talked about it. Who is our sneaky player for the upcoming week that we think has a chance to be player of the week?
Player of the week. Okay, let's see. You already have your pick?
I already have mine. He's written right there.
I don't want to see your pick. Let's see. With all these matchups here, who was the other potential sweep?
Excuse me. I'll get it right here. Hold on.
Okay, without seeing what you had there.
Potential sweep for me is Vader's ones.
Okay, my pick for player of the week, he's going to be an emotional roller coaster, and he's going to lead his team both on the mound because he's going to throw strikes. He's going to hit 5 bombs and be Kyle Etter.
I can see that. I can see Kyle Etter having a huge game, a huge series.
And he's going to get suspended for something.
Probably.
Yes.
Or the jersey's going to get ripped again.
Well, he's going to get suspended for that. He's gonna hit 5 bombs. It's gonna be the 3rd game. He's gonna have like 8 innings pitched, and they're going for the sweep. And then he's gonna, miss a pitch he should have hit, and then throw the bat up in the air.
Yeah. Oh, we got some more people in the chat. What do we got here? Somebody all day, la day. Too many Warbirds on the Night Owls. Lightning sweep.
How many Warbirds are in the Night Owls? Just 1.
Holligan.
That's it. It's because they're also a flying
Yeah, maybe.
Bird?
Maybe.
Al's a bird. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And my click is my guy Nick Sansone. I think he has a chance to have just a really big series.
Facing all right-handed pitching.
All right-handed pitching.
And some rookies.
And I don't think these guys have seen somebody with the exit velocity that this guy generates. For somebody who's maybe not a name that you think of. Like you think of Bruce, you think of yourself, Justin Hicks, you think of these guys, Hallett, Logan Christie himself. I mean, he'll be able to say, look, this guy really hits the ball. He hit 2-line drives at Dave Seifert in this last series.
Oh, yeah.
That caught Dave. And he got outs for him. He got nothing to show for it. So I think he's my click to pick. That's going to conclude this week's Thursday Night PLW. I thank you for all the guys in the chat. I don't know how many viewers we got. We got 44 guys in the chat. That's awesome. I hope to get to 50 next week. Catch us next week, 6:30. We're going to have another updated rankings, updated predictions, a new player. Maybe we'll get a guest picker up here. We'll get somebody different. Adam's in the chat. Who's highlighted something?
Oh, okay, I see Eternal Laxon. Green shirt, yeah. So I play on the Sand Vipers team, and I'm also the owner, general manager of the Sand Vipers team. I played in Europe for like 8 seasons, bouncing around. I kind of played in the States, but got released from independent ball because I sucked. And, Brad is Legends. Yeah. He's the owner, GM of the Legends team, original teams.
Yep.
Since season 1, the whole way through.
Yep, we were Tomahawks to start, but I wore the Tomahawks jersey. This next week, I'm going to bust out a Regulators jersey. And then I got a Barons jersey to bust out. We got all kinds of stuff to bust out. I want to thank everybody for watching. Catch us next week, 6:30, same kind of thing.
6:30, and next week we have a special surprise. We're going to do a giveaway.
Oh, we're going to do a giveaway. Awesome.
Yes.
So tune in. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Trevor, hit the music.